to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. You're so welcome here today. It is Wednesday the 21st of August 2024 and as always I'm coming to you from Devon in the southwest of England, where I live with my husband, our two teenagers and our two dogs. And right up front I'll tell you they're all in the house. The teenagers are still asleep, the dogs are up and awake a long time ago, and my husband's in his study, I think. So there may be a little bit of background noise at some points, but that's life. That's the way it is in the school holidays, isn't it? As I say, you're very welcome here today. If you've never been here before, welcome. If you're been here for a while, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in again. In Devon this morning it's very dull. I have a little bit of side light, so I hope that we can see everything I'm showing clearly. I have a cup of tea. I hope you have something to wet your whistle. I thoroughly enjoy my biscuit brew tea, and that's what I'm drinking this morning. So slurp slurp in my wee mug that my husband bought me to replace a much more expensive mug that he dropped, but we'll forgive him for that. So all the usual stuff this morning, just the usual podcast of ramblings, showing you all the things I've been knitting, all the things I'm going to be knitting. But first of all, I just wanted to say a big massive thank you. The last time I podcast, my dad was in hospital. It has been a rotten few weeks for us. My dad and my father-in-law were in hospital at the same time. You couldn't make it up, you couldn't write it. Dad is doing really well now, thank you so much. He had a wee operation and he's doing really well. We were talking to him last night. But sadly my father-in-law is not doing so well, so my husband was over with him for 2 weeks. It's meant to be our 2 weeks of holidays, but bless him, he had to go over to see his dad, and his dad ended up in hospital twice. He's still in hospital now. And Nigel came back on Sunday, but he's heading back over to Ireland this Sunday. So I have knit my feelings. I shall see. I'm over in England with my husband's from the south of Ireland. I'm from the north of Ireland originally, but we live in Devon as we work with a Christian mission who placed us here. And so I'm here with the two kids and the two dogs, and he's over there, and it's all just a bit stressful. And in the middle of it all, our wee dog Honey, one of the dogs, developed an abscess, so she had an emergency appointment with the vet. I always think of the dogs that are my husband's dogs. Believe it or not, I'm not an animal person, but we have two dogs in the house. So I found that really stressful because she couldn't tell me what was wrong. He wasn't here to take her to the vet. He normally does all of that. So I had to be a big girl and take her over to the vet, and so antibiotics and all the rest of it. So she went this morning and she had a checkup and everything's good. So there's just always something. But yes, thank you for the prayers for my dad. But I just appreciate prayers for my father-in-law. He's elderly and yeah, he's just struggling. But I'm so glad that Nigel can come over or go over. Our mission's been really good, giving him the time off, and he can go over and probably try to settle his dad into maybe a nursing home or something, but he'll be in hospital for a while yet. So yes, and of course tomorrow, if you're in the UK, you know that tomorrow is GCSE results day. Eva, my daughter, did her GCSEs this year, so she's been a bit giddy for the last few days, and I think it's just nerves coming up to the exam results. She worked very hard, but her timekeeping isn't what it could be, and so I think she is a bit nervous, but all will be revealed tomorrow. I'm very thankful Nigel can be here to be here whenever the results come out, so we can be as a family. But yeah, so can't believe she's old enough to have even done her GCSEs, but there she is. And she's got a wee summer job, which has been great for her to keep her mind off it, and she's working hard, washing dishes 3 days a week and realising that money doesn't go very far. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll tell a tale for her future. Obviously we've said as long as she's done her best, we don't, what outcome will be, it's not the end of the world, but she's a clever wee cookie and she wants to go on and do A levels, so we've been praying that that she would be able to do that. So 5 minutes in, and I think that's all the thank yous for prayers. Please think about my father-in-law and my husband as he has to go over to Ireland again, and I'm just here knitting. Thank goodness for knitting, eh? It is just, well, I do anyway, I just feel myself once I can sit down and knit, unless it's a very complicated pattern, which I'll show you. I haven't done any complicated patterns because my mind has been all over the place. I just feel everything just calming down, the breathing regulates, the stress goes down a bit, and I am so thankful for this little skill that we have, and for my knitty friends as well. I'd be lost without you. You know who you are. It's been an old time, and it's been lovely to know that you're out there. Right, enough of that. Let's talk about cals. There's 2 cals running at the moment, 2 knit-alongs. One is the year-long knit-along. Can't believe we've only got the end part of the year to go now. That's the T&P year 24. And if you're knitting on any Twinset Purl patterns at all, you can enter that cal. I've already given away several prizes. The last prize was some yarn and a project bag, and that's been received. I sent that off, so no doubt you'll see I have some beautifully gifted yarn. I'll show you that in a wee minute too. So there's still prizes to be won, so stick it in that hashtag. If you are not on Instagram or your account's private, just send me a wee email to ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com, and that is equally in the pot, so to speak. The other cal we're doing, which is just for August and September, is the Ruthie Shawl cal. If you've watched me at all, you've seen the excitement over the last few months as 2 patterns have come out, the Ruthie Shawl and the Ruthie Shawl, and all proceeds from those patterns are going to LAM, which is a hospital in Bangladesh. You know, if you've watched the news at all, it is up, the whole country's in an absolute mess at the moment, and just being able to give that wee bit of money to the hospital that they can keep going even under the harshest of circumstances. Not obviously our money doesn't keep it going, but to just show love through that, that has been amazing. I don't know what the total is for the Ruthie Shawl, but the Ruthie Shawl raised I think nearly £2,000, and that goes a long way in Bangladesh. So it's a hospital I used to work in. If you want to know anything more about it, I've done the original Ruthie Shawl. It's very obvious from the thumbnail that's about the Ruthie Shawl, and you can find out all the good work they do over there, and I thank you again for supporting that. I'm looking down at my notes. They're very scanty today because I wasn't going to podcast because I wasn't in the mindset, and I thought, you know what, I just need some normality to touch base and talk to my friends. So could be scattier than normal, which it could be very scatty. So that's the 2 cals. Do join in. Not many people have joined in the Ruthie Shawl cal yet. As things go at the minute, I think everybody could get a prize. Whips are welcome. If you don't get it finished, it's not a problem. I have 4 beautiful prizes. If they're not used, I'll use them for another thing, but if only 4 of you enter, that's fine too. I knew it wouldn't be a big cal, it's not a problem, and it's a funny time of the year too, isn't it, in the summer, but I think it would be a great holiday knit. The Ruthie certainly is a good holiday knit, although it's quite a detailed pattern. I can't get over how detailed it is, and Jo hasn't missed a beat. I don't know how she got it. My head would have been pickled, but it works out, and I'll show you I have a finished Ruthie to show you. So that's the waffle. Right, let me take another slug of this tea while it's warm. Sorry if you've got earbuds in, you probably just heard my throat. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. Probably just heard my throat go. I have worn this loads on the podcast. It just was the right layering piece to put on today, although my dress is showing up above it. This is the Salty Air tea. Maybe can I stand up in my rocking chair? I'll fly back. Lovely shot. It's my Salty Air tea. It's not coming up quite as vibrant as it is. It's a lovely bright mint colour. I did the sleeves a little bit longer because I have my muscly arms that I always talk about. And then it's just a rib. This is done in woolly knit Mint, I think it is called. It's showing up maybe a wee bit more, the vibrancy of it's showing up maybe now I've sat down. Colours are funny and I don't have the lighting gear to show them properly, but I hope you get an idea of. And really, I was at knit group on Thursday. I hadn't been in weeks because the school holidays and everything, and dropping kids here and there and everywhere. But Hannah was there. A lot of you know my friend Hannah from Hannah's Happy Space, and she had one of these on in the most gorgeous moss green colour from Yarnsmiths that they do on Wool Warehouse. You know I'm rave about Yarnsmiths for my socks. It was gorgeous. She wasn't sure about the colour on her. It was stunning. And I'm nearly sure it was this one. I'm nearly sure it was this one. And as soon as I sat down, I went, oh, what colour, you know, what, that's beautiful on you. And so there might be another another one in that same colour. We'll have to make sure we don't wear it on the same day. But yeah, she has one as well. So that's the Salty Air Tea by Samantha Guerin. So I think, did I test knit this? Can't remember. Can't remember most things these days, you know, good old menopause brain. Anyway, right, let's get on with it. Chatty. So finished objects. I have things both sides, so forgive me if I'm looking both sides. I wanted to show you a finished object that I actually had as a finished object last time, but I hadn't got it blocked, and it really didn't show how beautiful it was in its on block state. And we had a nice sunny day one day last week, and I got it blocked and out on the line, and it is like butter, but it's been folded up so it's curled a wee bit. But it's the Tigris Shawl by Olga Fahim, who is Gotham Knits. And get it around the right way. And I say it's been folded up, so there's a big line around the middle of it. And I blocked it on the line, which I don't normally do. We used to have a massive trampoline out the side of our house, but our kids are past trampolining age, and the weather had destroyed it, and it was just there, no guard around it or anything. And in the sunny days I used to use it as a big blocking mat. It was great. Things were dried in hours. And my husband thought, oh, we'll tidy up the garden, and he took it away. So I had to put this on the line. So it's put a bit of a line up the middle, but it won't matter once I've got it on. Oh, that's maybe showing up today, that colour. That colour is Cinnibar, and this colour is Ivy from, sorry, Russell, from Opus Yarns. I've shown you it all in the last Opus Yarns. Pricey yarn, but as always I got it on either eBay or in a D-stash. I seem to have an eye for these things, and if you ever get your hands on it, as I've said before, you won't be disappointed. It is lush. And this is the, oh, it's very creased, sorry. That's the Tigris Shawl, so you can see the sort of off stripes, and I can't wait to wear this. Could nearly wear it today. It's nearly not very warm. It's just going to sit beautifully if I didn't have a big line down the middle of it. The opposites. And very, very, very light intarsia to do those. And it feels, oh, it's gorgeous. I have some more that I got again on eBay. And it's actually, it was a kit, but I'm not sure that I'll do the shawl. It's for a, it's called Opus by Maxim Sear, the kit, and the lady sent me the pattern too, but I'm not sure if I'll do it because I've some of this left and I might have enough to do an actual garment. But that's the finished object. I say this is coming up maybe a bit better today, but it's darker than that. It's a cinnamony, you know, that kind of rusty cinnamon colour. So that's a bit of a cheat FO because it was finished last time, but it hadn't been blocked. And as I say, if you ever get the chance to knit with that Opus yarn, oh, it's nice. But I'm afraid at full price, I don't think I'll be purchasing. Not that it's not worth it, not that, you know, but everybody's got their own budget, haven't they, and their own idea of what they want to spend, and you go for it. No judgment here, absolutely. If you saw my yarn room, I haven't got the nerve to judge anybody on anything. That's that. It's still warm, which is nice. Okay, second finished object is my Ruthie Shawl. Excuse me. If you remember, I started this, I had bought yarn from the John Arbon mill weekend to knit another Ruth, which I showed you before. I've already got a Ruth. And I changed my mind at the last minute because as much as I love the Ruth, I think these wee shawls are doing me more of a service at the minute. Although it's not wee, it's not tiny. So the yarns I had cast on, I've done about maybe that much, with the yellow, which is the it's like a butter yellow, which is John Arbon Knit by Numbers. And the number is, it's the new blend, and it's the number 100, and it's 50% Blue Face Leicester, 50% Falklands Merino, and it's 400 meters per 100 gram skein. It's as light as a feather. It's so light. And I had paired this with an Appledore lace weight, but it just wasn't showing up. And I honestly wasn't enjoying knitting with the lace too much. I find lace very hard to knit with, and if I'm knitting anything other than a few bits, my tension's really rubbish, and my stitch definition's really rubbish. I don't know if it's just me or what. So I decided last podcast I was going to change, and I had used this yarn before in a summer Jimmy Jab sweater, and I used so little of it. It was only a 50 gram skein to start with, and so I thought I'll just use it up. Well, I don't think it's ever going to be used up. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I don't think it's ever going to be used. I don't have scales here. Shall we do it? Shall we see how much is left? So I had 34 grams left after I did my Jimmy Jab, and this is really good. I've 19.5 left after I've done the Ruthie, so that's out of a 50 grams. So I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of this. And that's from Bluebell Yarns. She only does non-superwash yarn. I bought this at the Stitch Fest in Newton Abbot last year, and if she's there this year, I definitely want to look at her yarns again because it's fantastic. I knit the Jimmy Jab, the summer Jimmy Jab. I must wear that again on here. With this as the contrasting colour and yellow as the main colour, both from her, and it's like wearing nothing. It's so light. So anyway, these were the two colours that I used. You can see it does bring out a wee bit of the yellow in the sort of variegated one. So, and this is what I've got. Get the right way. This is what I've got. Suppose you could put it that way to really see it. Look at that. Gorgeous, blown out a bit. Because I used a fingering, the edging doesn't show as much as in the lace. The edging is actually, I didn't pull the edging out too much, so you can't see this sort of this bit here kind of goes, see the holes. I did this very hurriedly to get it dried because the weather's not for drying, so I need to probably reblock it, but I wanted to show you it on the podcast and get those nice wee holes up. Anyway, it's a big long snake of a thing. And oh, it smells gorgeous. I did it in soak. Oh, gorgeous. So this is the Ruthie by Twinset Purl. It's blown out, it's so bright. You can see it's just different. It's just really different. And as I say, it's quite a long pattern, but she's done every row. And if you like that detail, and it's written and charted, but it's a bit, it doesn't have the tick box, the tick thing like Curious Handmade Helen Stewart has, but it may as well be the same thing, and you can really just follow it down. And somebody messaged me to see if a beginner could do it, and I don't see why not. They've tutorials and everything, and look, oh, I love it. Sorry, lighting's a bit rubbish as usual, and then the beautiful thing. So I'm pretty happy with it without pulling out the side bits so much, but they're definitely there. I just didn't pull them all out because I wanted to get it blocked to be able to show you. But oh, I love it. So if you haven't cast on, because even if you don't finish, you still could be up for prizes in the cal, in the Ruth Shawl cal. So the Ruth Shawl cal, you can do the Ruthie or the Ruth, I just, that wool, I recommend both wools as well, both yarns, and I just think, I feel like it's up, I feel like it should be this way because it's wee flowers. Or wee bows, as I said the last time with my Ruthie. Anyway, gorgeous, well done, Jo. I really, as I was knitting, I was just, how does she get that? But it's really not showing. At the other, and I have another one on the needles, and it shows the beautiful border a bit more clearly. So that's that. So that's my first proper finished object because the other one was done for last time. And then I said last time, that a friend of ours had got in touch again from Peterhead days when we lived up in Scotland, and realised that I knit and everything, and said she'd love a pair of socks. So of course her wish is my command, and I thought I'll do a couple of pairs. I thought I'll do a hand dyed pair and I'll do a pair in commercial yarn. So the hand dyed pair are finished. Two. It's darker than that. Yeah, there you go. It's Pistashio colorway. She said she loves all colors, so I got this in a swap just from March from a lovely lady in Canada, and the yarn is Loco, and it's Phyllis sock, 75-25 merino nylon, 460 yards and 100 grams, and it's colorway is Pistashio. And hand dyed in Colorado. So that's the first pair. The other pair are well underway as well. They aren't showing how beautiful they are. All the speckles in them. So they're done. I just did sort of a mid-length leg. I don't know what she'll want. They're a gift, so what is it? You can't look a gift horse in the mouth. So that's a pair of socks finished. I had those in my handbag, and just pulled them out as and when I was running around with the kids or waiting for them or for a coffee or whatever when Nigel was away. And is that all my finished objects? It felt like there was something else. Ruthie socks for me. Yeah, so I haven't had many finished objects this week because well, the Ruthie was a good knit. You know, it's only a single skein, and you see there's a wee bit left. That was from a 400 no, that was from a 400 meter skein, so there is a wee bit left. But I've been knitting on a large project, let's just say, and there's a lot of knitting. So that's my finished objects for this week. So whips. So said, I've decided to knit Amanda 2 pairs of socks. So the second pair, I have a ho, and these ones, she's only a size 5, so I'm quite happy to knit for her. I'm a size 8, so anybody smaller than me, I'm like, yeah, no problem, I'll knit you a pair of socks. So this is the Regia. Now look at, I did the Shadow Wrap heel, just something different. I did it because it was sort of stripy, but actually in hindsight it probably didn't matter. And the second one is well underway. Yeah, the rib. I pulled off a wee bit to sort of, I don't mind mismatched socks. I knit for my daughter all the time. She loves a mismatched sock, but I thought for somebody who's getting hand knit socks for the first time, I'd try and match them up, and I think it did not too badly. So I've just pulled maybe 2 or 3 grams off just to get to the part that would be matchy. And these are Regia. This was given to me by a friend of mine in Knit Group for Christmas, and it's just a Regia 4-ply, and you can see it is pretty much following the pattern that it shows on the picture. Good workhorse sock yarn, and hopefully she'll love those. Well, I haven't shown you any of, oh, and that's in my wee knitter bag. I haven't got them with me, but my father-in-law a while ago had given me some euros, and I didn't get them changed into pounds, and so whenever my husband was going south, I ordered this in a larger size from Knitter Bag, and she had a 25% off sale, and it was £15 cheaper, €15 cheaper to get it sent to the south of Ireland, because we're not in Europe anymore. So I'm looking at the pile behind you and I don't even see it. So I'll show you that whenever I use it. But I am in love with these linen bags. I just love them. But who couldn't love that? Would that do for my thumbnail? Doesn't really stick my tongue out and stick that tongue out too. I don't know. I find thumbnails really difficult. I don't know if they make a difference to you, whether you want, you know, and I find titles for these things really difficult. I don't know how yarn dyers title the yarn, because I struggle just with a podcast episodes. Does it make a difference if you see a title, or could I just put knitting podcast? Let me know in the comments. Does it make a difference to you? Does it entice you to watch or not watch? Let me know. So that's another, so they'll be finished, no problem. Then while we're on socks, I always have a pair of handbag socks, and they're in a little grey girl bag. I've been willing the summer to come, but I think by the 20th of August, if it hasn't come, although we had a late heat wave last year in October, and it's just a lovely wee ice cream and lollipops and all the rest of it. I've had this bag for ages, but haven't really used it very much. And I was out for coffee with my lovely friend Caroline, who knit me my Cecil shawl. She lives up the road, and we tried to meet up because we weren't at knit group. We for a few weeks we tried to meet up, and last Friday or the Friday before, and she said, I have some yarn in the car that I want to destash. Do you want to have a look? Mama wasn't going to say no, was it? And I got a skein of yarn that I already have a few of, and can now make a garment with it. So that worked out well. And obviously it might not be the same dye lot, but I'll just helical knit. But then I saw this, oh, she had so many, and I wasn't greedy, but she just threw them out in the back seat, and the two of us looking at them in the back seat of the car. And but then I spied this beauty. Can you see there's sparkle in it? Yeah, there's no label on it, but she knew it was sock yarn, and I thought my daughter would love that, some bright sock yarn. So I cast on, and I was knitting away, and Cara, you know what's coming. I was knitting away at knit group, and Cara sat down beside me, Hannah's sister, who I knit socks for all last year, and she said, oh, that's gorgeous, I'd love a pair of socks in that. So they're no longer Eva's socks. Eva's not bothered, I'll knit her plenty of socks, and now they're for Cara. And she also has a small shoe size, so that's fine. And I don't even think they're going to show up. This is bright pink, like you can see here. So they'll be for Cara. I just have this much done at the first one because I just was doing it at knit group. And on the train I took my son to Exeter on Monday to get school shoes, size 12 school shoes. And everybody and their dog was in buying school shoes, but we got them, and he was very, very patient. And I knit this, it's for about 40 minutes on the train in and out. I picked up the heel and everything, so that was nice to be able to knit away. He not a bit bothered, his mummy sitting beside him knitting. And yep, they'll go back in my handbag to go wherever I go. So I'm sure they'll be at least the first one finished for next time. So that's the socks. Then the big project I suppose I've been knitting on, which I showed you last time too, is in this big bag. This is a Mrs. Brown's bag. I don't even know if she makes bags now. I don't know. A lovely friend in Canada sent me this quite a few years ago. And a bag in a bag in a bag. And I've got quite a bit of progress done on this because it's Aran weight, or worsted weight, so it knits up. Well, I say it knits up quick. I'm on the body now and I'm like, is this ever going to end? I'm trying to find you. So I had 3 skeins, can't remember, of these big boys here. These are from Woolly Adventures yarn. I'll show you who are in Northern Ireland. No, I've used their yarn before. I'll show you this nice wee. So Woolly Adventures. If you're going to, is it the Mill weekend in Newton Abbey? Yeah. if you go to their Instagram at Woolly Adventures, they're preparing for a wool show, a yarn show in Northern Ireland. Can't remember which one it is. I've never been to a yarn show in Northern Ireland. I've never been there at the right time. But don't miss out on their going to see their yarn. And the yarn is Galway yarn, 100% Galway wool, 180 meters per 100 grams, or 450 meters per 250 grams. So these big boys, the size of my head, are 250 grams. And this is not a colour. It's creamy. It's creamy. Hang on. I've not got enough hands here. I'm so scared it's getting dirty that I have it all in bags. It's a cream. It's not white. And I saw these dyed up on their website, but they just weren't colours that I wanted. And then they had a sale and they had them just as on dyed, and I thought, oh, if I put something bright with that, I would love that. Then I had buyer's remorse because I thought, white hair, creamy cardigan, will this work? And then I was watching Aimee Palco of The Meaningful Stitch, and she had this colour thing done, and she has white hair, and it said she could wear white. So I thought, if it's good enough for Aimee Palco, it's good enough for me. Wear what you want. Wear what you want. What makes you happy. So I cast on, and I tell you, it's cleared quite a bit of my stash, using up a couple of those big yarn skeins, and my poor wee yarn winder couldn't cope with it, so I had to wind it by hand. But anyway, it's fine. And last time I had just split for the sleeves, I think, or maybe just started into one sleeve, but I have 2 sleeves done. Sorry, that's the colour. It's blown out. 2 sleeves done. 2, and I'm well onto the body. Sorry, it's on a small cable. So this is what it should look like. Obviously there's a button band and a collar, although that wee curled collar doesn't look the worst. Sure it doesn't. So this is my Jimmigan Cardi by the Woolly Badger. Oh, my stomach's rumbling. Oh, it's blowing out. So that's the colour work. I hope this will be finished next time. Might not be blocked if the weather's not good enough, but I'm not mad about, I'm not angry about that wee curled bit, but I think sorry, it's really blown out the way it's curled. So there's the colour work. It's a yoke, and I think it's going to be brilliant. So I reckon I have about, what, probably another 10 centimetres to do before I get to the rib. Do you want to say anything else about that? I did lifted increases. I think I said that last time, because I find sometimes if you do left or right increases, it really shows. Obviously I'm blocking, that'll flatten out too. There it goes. I knew it was all going to fall off. And the contrast colour is, find it in the depths of this bag, is this, which is a West Yorkshire Spinners Croft. There we go. You all know West Yorkshire Spinners. And the colourway is Dalsetter, sorry. I just got that in my local yarn shop, and I use so little of it. I wish I'd just used scraps, to be honest, because like this is how much I've got left. Yeah, I wish I'd just used scraps. But anyway, so I have that one skein, and this big boy still I think that should do me to at least the rib, and then I think I will have to break into the other one, but that's okay, that's what it's for. And I will have a very cozy, do not come near me, do not jump up dogs sweater for the cooler weather. Let me see, here, just want to put it back in here because who knows what'll happen to it if I leave it out. So that's the Jimmigan Cardi by the Woolly Badger. She has the Jimmy Jab Light, and she has the big Jimmy Jab, which is DK, and I definitely want to do that. I tested that, but I didn't do the right size because I'm stupid. I want to redo that, and I have some yarn in mind for that too. I want the whole family. She has been running through August, like money off her patterns every day. She has done the Jimmigan and she's done the Jimmy Jab, I think. So, but keep your eyes out peeled on Instagram, and you might get another one of those with a, she's always doing money off, and those are definitely my favourites of her patterns. I'm losing it now. And then my daughter, as I said, is hoping to go back to school to do A-levels, and they don't have to wear uniform. So she is not, doesn't care about labels, doesn't care about brand names. She shops mostly in, Americans would call them thrift stores, we call them charity shops. She loves secondhand. She's recycle warrior and all the rest of it at 16. That's what you do, isn't it? And she just loves a good rummage through a secondhand store or a vintage shop or whatever. But she had been looking through some patterns of mine, and she said, Mum, I would love a vest, but she wanted one with buttons down it. I suppose we would call it a waistcoat. And so we looked through Ravelry, and because she thinks layering, Mum, layering. And she picked out a pattern, and Mum, could you have it done for September? Yes, Eva, no problem. It's a vest, so it'll knit up very, very quickly, and she's only a size like 12, so I don't know what that is in any other country. It was a medium, ladies medium, so I said yes, of course, and we went. She wanted to pick some wool, and so she wanted some wool from Wool Warehouse, and I think it came to the grand total of £7. So, and it's the Campus Vest by Aimee Sher makes, and there's two options. There's a cropped option and a longer option. The longer option is slightly A-line, and she didn't want that, so she kind of wants longer than a crop but not long enough to do A-line, so boxy really. So I'm doing there's an option A to it, or an option B, and I'm doing option A. And let me put this down here. And this is the campus sweater, and that's what she wants. So such a simple, I don't know if, I'm sure it's a simple pattern too, but it's very basic, and perfect for things that are going on at the minute, because I can just lift it up. And I think you knit right up to the armholes, and then you split and you knit the sides, and then I think you join it with a 3-needle bind off. She never wants wool, so she got, even though I said to her, well, acrylic, you know, if you want to be the recycle queen, acrylic's not best, but she'll wear this to the death. She picked two colours that I didn't expect her to pick, so I'll show you the one where she wants two. So this is the second colour she picked, but she wants the other one passed. So we got Yarnsmith's Create. It is the softest, I mean, you probably all know this. I love the Yarnsmith's sock wool, you know that. I have raved about it. But this is just gorgeous. I know it's one of Hannah's favourite yarns. Yarnsmith's Create Double Knit, and this one is, that's showing up pretty well. Sugar Plum, and it's shade 3335. It's not a shade I thought she'd pick, but anyway, she only needs 4 balls for what she wants, and that might even be more than she needs. So that was that. And then the second colour, you'll see her coming, is this one. And it is, and I was surprised at these because she generally is, you know, grey and navy and black. So Yarnsmith's again, and this one is apple green, and it's shade 3188, and again we've got 4 balls of that, and it is as vibrant as it's coming up. And I started it, nothing much to show, like, let's face it, because I really was trying to knit on that Jimmy Jab, and of course it's stuck in this bag. Oh, I'm gonna pull the, that's it. that's all I've done. I've done the rib, that's all I've done. But I mean, look at the stitch definition on that. It's going to be gorgeous, and it's softer than soft. So that's the back and the front, obviously. So it'll be, you know, like this. And she loves it, and it's a, oh, there goes my end of my needle stopper. And I will just chug away at that. Perfect, mindless knitting. So when Nigel heads off again, I can just knit on that, not think about things too much. And so that is the Compass Vest by Aimee Sher. So there'll be 2 of those in the needles in quick succession. And hopefully after I knit the first one, it'll be fine. That's in a wee bag. I've had it for a long time. It was from Amazon. I don't think there's any kind of label on it. I don't know. And it holds so much. There's zips and everything inside it. It's kind of a canvas, and it was perfect size for this with the big balls. I actually I don't enjoy knitting off those big balls, so I actually put it into a cake. I find they just go floppy, and I remember watching Davina of Little Workroom Crafts, and she showed us how to pull the middle out to be a centre pull. I can never do it. So that's the Compass Vest. And last but not least, in my little Bobbles Berries bag, she's no longer making bags, but she makes the most gorgeous stitch markers, is my Ruthie, my second Ruthie. And I had a bit of a, not a change of heart, but I haven't knit any more than the last time, but I just want to show you it because I focused on the yellow one. And if you remember, I'm using navy and red, and so I think it's, you know, it's a nice contrast, not pop as Stephen West like. You can see the edging much clearer on that one. And I thought I enjoyed knitting with the 2 fingering weights so much. Should I go and rip this out and knit with a fingering weight? But no, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with the recipe, and you can see it's coming up beautifully. Obviously we'll need blocked, but so if you remember, it's not just a flat colour, it's lovely. If you remember, the navy is Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co, and it is the colourway Natural Sock, 50% BFL, 50% Cheviot wool, and in Indigo Dark, dyed in Northern Ireland, 400 metres. And it definitely is indigo. It leaves the marks on my hand as I'm knitting with it, which is just the risk with indigo. But it doesn't come out, it doesn't come off in your neck or anything when you're wearing it. And then the red is a lace weight I got in a swap box. And it is Leonara by Permin, and it's colourway disco. Is it disco? I remember right. No, it isn't got a colourway. It's 50% silk, 40% wool, and 10% mohair. 25 grams. You need so little of it that 25 grams is even more than enough. So yeah, so that's what I'm knitting with it. So I'll keep going with this because I do want the finished object. It's just and it's grand to knit with, but just to show you that you can use fingering if you don't have lace, and it works just as well. So that'll be worked on as and when, but I want to get those Compass vests done, and I want to get the Jimmy Jab done, because literally I have 10 centimeters left of the body, then the rib, and then pick up stitches. And it's not it's a buttonless button band, but I might do just one button up here just to keep it shut, but we'll see. I rarely button a cardigan. Anyway, so those are my whips. There could be more, there could be less. You know me. Right, yes, I've definitely shown you with the chaos that's here. It feels like there should be more, but I think that is it. The only thing I wanted to show you, and I mentioned earlier, was I've had 3 beautiful skeins come in from Amanda of Little Lycac. She messaged me to see if she could send some skeins for giveaways, and I said, are you sure, because you're a very small little business? And she said yes, so I said thank you. So I'll show you them here, and they will appear as giveaways at some point. So Amanda, thank you so much, because obviously as a small business, this is a sacrifice. It's lovely and squishy. So the first one is kind of, I think of her signature colorway. She loves purples, mauves, all the rest of it. So Little Lilac Yarns, that's her label, and that is true to color. That is true. That is what it's like. And it's soft sock, 75% superwash merino, 25 nylon, 400 meters. Electric Skies is the colorway, and she's Little Lilac Yarn on Etsy. Oh, that's beautiful. And so that would do socks. That would do a contrast colorway. Then the next one is this beauty. Oh, these colors are coming up perfectly. A wee bit of yellow in it. And oh, it's upside down. Little Lilac Yarn. It's very soft. Oh, it's got a little, you can guess the name of the yarn by showing you that, can you? Everybody's shouting at the screen. Gingerbread Man. Luxury sock. So this was soft sock. This is luxury sock. You can feel it is definitely luxury. 85% extra fine superwash merino, 15% nylon, 400 meters, and as I say, it's called Gingerbread Man. You could literally put that with anything, couldn't you? So that'll be, and then she sent one for me to knit more menopause brain Marie Curie socks, but as I've done 11 pairs now, I found another pair, so I've done 11 pairs. I think I'm Marie Curie socked out at the moment, but there's always next year, so these will be going on the needles next year. Should even manage to get a wee bit of the grey purple in there. So this is soft sock, and it's 75 merino, 25 nylon, 400 meters, and it's Balrue Barbie. Did you make up your mind? So that'll be put away for next year, or if anybody still wants to, there's plenty of time to knit Marie Curie socks. If you want to knit a pair of Marie Curie socks but you've got no yellow yarn, get in touch with me and I will pass this on to you, and then you can send your socks to Marie Curie. It's blowing out a bit. It's that colour. Gorgeous. So thank you, Amanda. That was a lovely treat to. It's always nice when yarn comes in the post and I can say to my husband, no, it's for a giveaway, or it's a gift, or and those will definitely be used. So if you haven't entered the CALs, go back and look and see what the gifts are. The giveaways, I've said it now, giveaways are for the Ruth Shawl CAL, but there's still, what, 4 months left of the TMP year CAL, and so there'll be more prizes, pattern prizes, real life prizes, and it's open more wide. So get those in and I will be picking more winners. I love it. I love giving away yarn. I love getting yarn, but I love giving away yarn, and it seems to be everybody likes getting a little prize too. That's it. I think I could waffle on, as you know, but that's it. If you're only here for the knitting, you've probably left already. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Give us a wee thumbs up. Give us a wee like, or if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps put my wee channel out there for more people to come my way and be involved in this nonsense. But you know, if you've watched before, that I'm a Christian, and that at the end of each of my podcasts I always like to share something that just feel the Lord's put in my heart, or has been mulling around in my head for a wee while. And I'll be honest, not much has been mulling around in my head with everything that's going on recently, and I actually wasn't going to podcast because I thought I've nothing to say at the end, and I don't like to podcast when I've nothing to say at the end. But if this isn't your thing, I'll say goodbye to you now. Maybe it will be your thing this week and you'll stay. But I know a lot of people appreciate that I give a wee disclaimer before I start. And but everyone is welcome to stay. But if you've had enough, fair enough. Doesn't offend me in the slightest. And I'll say goodbye to you now. Thank you so much for watching. I don't take it for granted that you watch my channel when there's a million super professional channels out there. And I'll see you next time. All right, God bless, bye. So if you're staying, as I said, it's been a very stressful bit of time for us. recently, just with one thing and another. Never mind that I'm going through the menopause and don't cope with most things anyway. But, you know, with my dad in hospital at the same time as my father-in-law, trying to split myself into feeling guilty that I wasn't there for my dad and my mum, and all of the guilt that comes with feeling you're not here properly for your children either. My husband was over in Ireland with his dad. I've written here, I was stuck over here. I don't mean that badly, but I was over here with the kids and the dogs and all the rest of it. And as I said, even Honey ended up with an emergency rush to the vets. But you know, I felt worried, I felt frustrated, I felt isolated, and if I'm honest, I felt quite lonely. This time in our lives, and maybe yours too, with parents who need help, but with children who are dependent on us too, I'm not finding it very easy. I know I'm not scared for my life, I'm not getting bombed, I'm not living in famine or experiencing any of the awful things that are going on in the world, but it still has been a lot. So after a good cry, a pity party for one, and I will be honest, I had a bit of a moany prayer session, I turned to God's word, and as always, better late than never. I never learn. It never fails to remind me that God has got me, my circumstances and my worries are in his hands. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 16 to 18 says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." I know the Bible says that, but I can tell you I was not rejoicing in my circumstances these last couple of weeks. You know, but I was rebuked on Sunday as the speaker at our church reminded us that we're to rejoice in our Saviour, if not in our circumstances. And of course, that was a reminder to me that I should be rejoicing in my Saviour, but if even I can't rejoice in my circumstances. But I wanted to share some of the promises. This is not an in-depth expose of any of exposition of the Bible this morning. It's just wee thoughts that have been running through my head. As my husband says, 16 scattered thoughts. And some of the promises that I've been reading over and over again. And I'm just going to read the verses and the where they're from, and if you want to pause and write them down, you do that. But the first one that we all know is Jeremiah 29 verse 11. "I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Psalm 94, if you want some encouragement, always try and go to the Psalms. Psalm 94:19 says, "When doubts filled my mind, your comfort gave me renewed hope and cheer." Psalm 16 verse 8, "I know the Lord is always with me. I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me." Isn't that's such a good one. Psalm 62 verse 8, "Trust in him at all times, O people, pour out your hearts before him. God is our refuge." I definitely poured my heart out. Philippians 4:6-7 says, "Do not be anxious for anything. Instead, in every situation, through prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, tell your requests to God." Exodus 33:14 is, "My presence will go with you and I will give you rest." Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Psalm 119 says, verse 143 says, "Trouble and anguish have come upon me, but your commands are my delight." Now, some of those might be out of context slightly, but at the time, those just pierced my heart. Those just lifted me up. Those just reminded me, as I said, that he's right here by my side. There's very little, humanly speaking, that I can do about our circumstances just now. Just because I read and believe these verses, it doesn't take away the feelings I have at the moment. That is just life and the season we're in. However, being able to talk to the Lord and know he hears and cares is just amazing. To know he is with me, with us in these times. To know God sees the bigger picture when we can only see what is right in front of us, right here, right now. And if you're struggling today, open your Bible. I have said this in podcasts before. Open your Bible. Remind yourselves of these promises. Let me know if there's others you turn to as well that can encourage us. Write them down, put them on a post-it, stick them to your bathroom mirror, put them somewhere you can see. Recite them over and over again if that helps. But do not forget that God is right here by your side. Take time out, as I constantly have here, to just be still in his presence, even if all around you is in chaos. But a few times in the last few weeks, I've just closed the door and just come alone with my Saviour. You know, as I said, the Psalms are, some of them are disturbing, but some of them are really encouraging and real reminders of who God is and who he is to us and who he can be if we trust him. But I think Psalm 121 always just reminds me over and over again. I've been a Christian for a long time, but even I need daily reminders in these times that God is with me. And it's just Psalm 121. If you have the Bible at all, you'll know this. And it's I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon at night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever. Remember, he sees the bigger picture. Whatever you're going through now, maybe it's your own ill health, maybe it's family struggles, financial struggles, all of these things. He sees the bigger picture. We have to trust in him. And I've just written at the bottom of it, read your Bible, pray every day. If we don't have the Bible open, we can't have these promises. I don't know about you, I have learnt them over time. I have learnt them as memory verses as a child. I have got them into my head. I hide his word in my heart, as the Bible says. But if we're not looking to him, if we're not leaning on him, if we're not trusting him, then it's difficult to know his plan, isn't it? It's difficult to know what's going on. But you know, Isaiah 55 says his thoughts are not our thoughts, his ways are not our ways. And I've quoted that many times on this podcast as well. But we have to trust, even in these hard times, even in these times when we can literally not see the wood for the trees. We have to trust in him. We have to trust that he is our comfort, he's our strength, and that he's right beside us. I don't say any of these things flippantly. I know that people are having horrendous times, but I know that if we trust in our Lord, if we trust him every day, he sees the bigger picture. He knows what he's doing and he wants the best for us. That's all I wanted to say. As I say, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. There's more to come, I'm sure. I pray for Nigel, pray for his dad, pray for his sister. She's getting married in September, so this is a lot coming up to a wedding. But you don't know what tomorrow brings. And my heart's desire and my prayer for anybody who's watching this podcast is that if you don't know what tomorrow brings, but we can have the assurance of home in heaven one day. If you don't have that assurance and you'd like to know more about how to get that assurance and how to ask the Lord into your heart, get in touch. I don't have the answers to everything, but email me and I can guide you. I can't make you do anything. As I say every time, I can't make you do anything. I am not here to cajole you, to coerce you, nothing. This has to be a personal decision of putting your trust fully in the Lord. But I hope today that at least something might have sparked in your mind and you'll think about these things. And if you are having struggles, go back over those verses that I've mentioned, go back over those promises and just commit everything to the Lord today. That's it. That is it. 58 minutes. Can I get under the hour? Have a lovely knitty time, crochet time, whatever craft you're doing till I see you again. Hopefully I'll have some of these other bigger projects finished. As I say, get in touch, ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com or ruthlovestoknit podcast on Instagram. Or if you want to wait for a reply, you can do ruthlovestoknit on Ravelry. But until I see you again, thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I'll say God bless for now. Bye.